It's going live.
Rudy, I almost had a freaking heart attack through
Really?
halftime going into the third period. Welcome everybody to the first ever live playoff post game show right here on Spurs in Focus. We thank y'all for staying up late with us. This show was teetering on not happening because of how late it was. What would have killed it,
Come on.
Rudy? What would have killed it for me if this game went to overtime? If we went to overtime, forget about it. I was at Rudy, let's just wait for another game.
Jeff,
But
I
nevertheless,
gotta be at work in 3 hours. I mean, come on. I'm up for
well,
this.
see, yeah,
I'm up
Rudy's
for
making
this.
making me feel like this tiny now because I'm not, stepping up. But everybody, welcome to a live episode of Spurs in Focus post game reaction. Your San Antonio Spurs. It was a little nerve wracking, but they got the W, beating the Portland Trailblazers. Out in Portland to take the series lead 2-1, 120-108. Home court advantage is now back in San Antonio. I am your host, Jeff Garcia, longtime Spurs writer over here in San Antonio. Make sure to subscribe to Spurs in Focus on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. You got Amazon Podcast, Pocket Cast. The list goes on and on. Go subscribe right now. Spurs in Focus should be your first and only spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. Seriously, you don't want to go to the other spots. You want to come here first. This is your first stop for everything silver and black. Gentlemen, seeing your screen, that is Mr. Rudy Campos with the sports answer, also known as the sexiest man in radio in San Antonio. Is that true, Rudy?
Very true. I'm not gonna lie, very true. And the reason being, you can't see me on radio, so I can get away with being the most sexiest man on radio.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, quick shout out to Elias. He is the prodigy. Elias, Sith Elias, he called this game and it went exactly how he thought it would go. And so we got to put some bets. If Sith says something, we'll put some bets down with Vegas there. So thank you all for joining us again. Make sure to follow Rudy on X at the Sports Answer. He is your guy for not just Spurs, but for all things sports. He got the NFL draft that just happened. Obviously, the NBA playoffs. The list goes on and on. He does it all. I just stick to the Spurs. This guy, he balances it all. By the way, Rudy, you like my shirt here? I'm rocking Street Fighter.
The Chun-Li. Okay, so is that the one that you got at a Comic-Con that we went to?
Yes, that's right. Oh, okay. Yeah, you were there with me. Yes.
I remember that. I remember. Hey, real quick, let's remind everybody here, or let's give them a heads up, man. So y'all guys out there in the chat, we appreciate everybody here. You see the poll at the very top of the chat here, or at the very top of the stream. The poll question for tonight is, do you feel confident the Spurs can win with series without Wemby? The way to vote is you go into the comments, you drop a 1 for yes, a 2 for no. Get your votes in. It's going to be up the entire show. So the question is, hey, can the Spurs win without Wemby? Do you feel confident after this game? Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. I certainly do now. I certainly do. Let's dive into it. Yeah, guys, we're trying to give everybody just a little bit more time to join us here. So we'll start off with some general thoughts, and then we're going to get into some of your comments. And then Rudy and I were going to do our standout player of the game, our standout stats of the game, and what was the turning point? What turned the game to the Spurs' favor? I have some questions about players, even though the Spurs got the W. I texted Rudy about one particularly. But overall, it was a great win. Let's dive into it right now. General thoughts. My first thing is this team grew up tonight. They grew up tonight. This was a game in hostile territory. The first half was not good. They were down by double figures at one point. I really thought their inexperience was showing. You had the experienced Drew Holiday was just wrecking shop on them, getting whatever he wants in that first half, going into a little bit into the third. But before our eyes, we saw this team rally. We saw this team have composure, poise. They got everybody together. And in the second half, they, or should we say Harper, took over the game and they left their imprint on that court there. So for me, Rudy, my first takeaway is poise. They never looked rattled. They didn't hang their heads. Even though it felt like the Blazers were destroying them by 100, that if you looked at the score, it never was completely out of hand.
No.
At half, it was close. At the end of the third, the Spurs took the lead. It was always within striking distance, and I think that, for me, was comforting as the game went on. In other words, they just weren't getting curb stomped. I think that was good. If they got curb stomped, we probably talked about an L tonight. But Rudy, what do you think about the game? They kept it close. The composure was there. What did you think?
So I like what you said about them growing up. They did grow up in this
Mm-hmm.
game. You saw the emergence and the reason why I had Dylan Harper as my number one guy on the draft board. I mean, the kid is special. If he's on any other team
Yes.
talking about potential rookie of the year,
Mm-hmm.
yes, he's better than Concanipla. Yes, he's better than Cooper Flag. I'm telling you guys. But the one thing I did see was, okay, they got rattled in the beginning of the game. First quarter, they were down, I believe, 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
The second quarter, Portland came out hot. Scoot Henderson had a little Scoot Henderson run, little
Mm-hmm.
Scooty right there. Hey, but the Spurs kept their composure. The third quarter, they won that third quarter. They were able to get it within one, I believe, if not take the
Mm-hmm.
lead. Then the fourth quarter, they just blew it open. I mean, Dylan
Mm-hmm.
Harper took over the game. Stephon Castle was steady the entire game.
Absolutely.
The thing that I was worried about, and you and everybody else, was the rebounding. And we saw them getting out rebounded, getting those second chances. Donovan Clingan, early foul trouble within minutes of the first quarter. Here comes Robert Williams. And again, Robert Williams just
Mm-hmm.
turns into prime Shaquille O'Neal against the Spurs. And it just did not feel good.
Right.
But they kept fighting. They kept fighting. Every time Portland made a run, Mitch would call a really, really good timeout,
Mm-hmm.
settle the guys down. We even saw Darren Fox at the end of halftime, at the end of the first half, get riled up, get
Mm-hmm.
a technical. But again, it's about composure. What have you and I talked about all season with this team? When it seems like they get rattled, they tend to calm down,
Right.
they tend to relax, they tend to get back on track. That's exactly what he saw tonight.
Yeah, you look at halftime. Again, it felt like the Blazers were just demolishing them. But at halftime, Rudy, it was 65-59. Blazers with that slight edge. And
Yeah.
they were keeping it close. You talked about reboundings. The Spurs were actually out rebounding the Blazers at half, 27-24.
Yeah.
They were out assisting the Blazers 15-11. And shooting, they were close. 44% for the Spurs, 44% for the Blazers. This game, what I also liked about it, another takeaway for me, is it never got out of hand. I really thought this young core, Vassell, Harper, Castle, Keldon, were going to get rattled.
Mhm.
We talk about steps to becoming a championship team. They took a big step towards that direction. Rudy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
when you prove that you can win a game without your MVP candidate and survive, let's just call it, they survived against
Yeah,
Portland in Game 3. I mean, Spurs fans, come on, be real. You thought they were going to lose this game. I saw the comments on Twitter. I saw
I
the
thought they were too.
comments.
I'm going to be honest. I
I
thought they
mean,
were going to lose it. Yeah.
I don't comment during the game because why? It's 4 quarters. If I'm overreacting in the first or second quarter, am I really truly understanding the game of basketball? You'll have a feeling when the game's over. I saw comments left and right on X. I saw local podcasters giving comments left and right. You got to relax, man. This is a
Yeah.
team that is definitely comfortable. They definitely are here to play. You saw in the regular season that we thought, oh, they're immature. They're not ready. Tonight, they proved the reason why you can't use
Mhm.
they're rookies in the playoffs. They're
Yeah.
immature. They're not ready for it. It's still BS, in my opinion. You can't use
Yeah.
that excuse. OKC was not ready. They got a title. Spurs, they're ready.
Yeah. They are absolutely ready. And if you're the Blazers, you're probably kicking yourself in that locker room right now. This
Definitely.
was a golden opportunity for them to get a W without that big Frenchman there. And guess what? They dropped it. They fumbled the bag.
Yeah.
This game should have been their gift. This
Yeah.
should have been their win. They had the size advantage. Thiago Splitter talked about that heading into game 3, saying, oh, we're going to beat them easy with size. The moment they go the small, that's how we're going to score them. Well, guess what, Rudy? Talk about this. Small ball won out versus big ball, didn't it?
It did, and that was my biggest concern after game 2. It's like, man, you're playing Carter Bryant at the 5. Didn't really work out too well, and it didn't seem to work out early when they had Carter Bryant in. Give credit to Carter Bryant, man. He had a few blocks in there that were
Mm-hmm.
impressive, making himself feel tall. But again, he was getting out rebounded, he's getting outworked. But it wasn't just him; it was Keldon Johnson in there as well, getting outworked. But poise, calm.
Mm-hmm.
They
Absolutely.
went back with the small lineup, but what I did like about with Mitch was that he was able to go back to Cornette late in the game when it
Mm-hmm.
mattered the most. The Spurs had the lead. He brought Cornette
Yeah.
back in. That's where I think the adjustment was made. We saw Carter Bryant play a lot in game 2. maybe because Cornette was a little bit gassed. This time he was in the fourth quarter when it mattered the most, and that
Yeah.
was the difference right there.
Yeah. Again, the Spurs, despite the fact they were down at halftime and for a good chunk of the first half, I think the Blazers they led in the first half 16 minutes to the Spurs 4 minutes. So they were seemingly in control, especially going into halftime. For me, I was like, okay, you got to come out of the half strong, Spurs, and they did more in the second half in just a bit.
Mhm.
But you look at overall though, what was dooming the Spurs? Well, in the first half, for me, it was sloppy play. You had 9 turnovers in
Mhm.
that first period. They were not getting in a transition defense. The Blazers scored 16 points off turnovers. So that was a problem there. We're talking about the second half when they started cleaning up. But let's start getting rid of some of the ugly stuff. It was a win, yes, but it wasn't a pretty win. They'll take the win. It's good.
Yeah.
But Rudy, right off the bat, for me, uh, I need to see more out of Keldon Johnson, man. He's MIA. He's MIA. If he just gives me his season averages, maybe the Spurs aren't biting their fingernails going into the second half. Again, they took over the second half. We'll talk about that in a bit. But I got to see more out of Keldon. And, man, dare I say, we should just put a fork in Harrison Barnes, man?
I don't think you're going to put a fork in Harrison Barnes, man.
Okay.
There's really no way. But the Keldon Johnson situation, I can understand what you're saying, but could it not be so much that Keldon is really struggling, maybe compared to maybe the matchup isn't right for Keldon Johnson? He's battling against Klingon, he's battling against Williams, and when he's not battling against those guys, Jeremy Grant's a very tough guy to defend, especially on the perimeter. So maybe the matchup isn't well for Keldon. I'm not making excuses for him, but I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he only averaged maybe like 10 points against Portland this year. So again, I mean, he's right on par to what he's been averaging against Portland this season. It could be just a matchup thing for Keldon. I mean, maybe when you get into the next series, they beat Portland, they get into the next series, maybe he matches up well against Denver or Minnesota. I don't know. I would say this: are you really worried that he's struggling, or are you okay with it because they're getting the W's?
Right.
That's the question I think we got to ask.
Exactly. So just look, I'm not trying to be this to like the start of Fiesta Week in San Antonio. We're just getting rained on, So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get rid of all the ugly stuff first before we get to the great stuff that happened in the second half. So for me, I got to see more Keldon Johnson, especially in the next game in Game 4. Got to cut down those turnovers, okay? And look,
Yeah.
I know Harper had a great game. I understand that. He's going to get his flowers in a few minutes. But Rudy, can I be a little real with you? This Spurs team should not be relying on a rookie to save their ass. What do you think?
Oh, I totally disagree with you.
All right, hit me with
I
it.
totally disagree with you. So again, I got to remind everybody again, Dylan Harper was my number one prospect on the draft board. He should have gone number one in every draft that I would have ever done. I would have taken him number one. Dylan Harper's not your typical rookie. You're talking about a guy who was a focal point at Rutgers, who was one of the best high school players to come out of high school. When he got to college, yes, he had some injuries in college, but still when he played, he was a massive difference maker. But what does Dylan Harper have to his advantage compared to Cooper, compared to Kahn and all these other guys is he's got a dad who's an NBA champion in Ron Harper. He has a brother who's making a name and waves for himself with Boston right now. Dylan Harper is from a basketball family. He knows the ins and outs of NBA basketball. He knows the rigors of playoff basketball because of his dad. You think he was on the sidelines with his dad during those title runs with the Bulls? Heck yeah, he was. He knows all about this stuff. Dylan Harper is not your typical rookie. He's a guy who I would say he's probably a year 2 veteran in his rookie season. He clearly has showed it. He doesn't put up these gaudy numbers because he doesn't get the playing time that starters do. Reason why, look tonight, 30 minutes in this game. He played starter minutes. He played big boy minutes. He showed what he can do in those 30 minutes. So, no, I mean, what you see with Dylan Harper, Jeff, is what you're getting. When you see him get those 18, 20 minutes a game and he's still putting up 12, 14 points, I mean, he's putting up better stats than most veterans are in these playoffs right now.
Yeah, and I guess the lining around my comment right now about do you really need to rely on a rookie to save your butt, Spurs fans? It's because Another game, Rudy, and
Mhm.
not much of an impact by one De'Aaron Fox.
Oh, here we
Again,
go. Here we go.
again.
Here we go.
I know you're on the I protect De'Aaron Fox no matter what
No,
because
no,
he's
no,
my
no, no,
guy.
no. I don't
Uh,
protect De'Aaron Fox. I do not protect him. I don't protect
I
him at
gotta
all.
see more out of De'Aaron Fox, my guy. I mean, I
18
gotta see
points.
more.
I mean, 18 point. We've said it before. De'Aaron Fox is the only reason why De'Aaron Fox is the number 2 guy in everybody's eyes is because he gets paid $60 million. He
Mhm,
gets a max deal. But again, is De'Aaron Fox truly the number 2? A lot of people say it's Stephon Castle. Unless the Spurs lose, then it's supposed to be De'Aaron Fox. But when the Spurs are winning, it's Stephon Castle, a la tonight. 33 points.
mhm,
He was the man. Now, De'Aaron Fox put up 18 points. Yeah, he had 6 assists. I mean, he did a lot of other things that, you expected out of De'Aaron Fox. You don't expect him to have, 26, 27 a night point per game average or anything. I mean, this team is built without a second option. Let's just put it
mhm,
that way. They're built without a second option. Wimby's number 1. Castle could be number 2 on any given night. It could be Darren. It could be Devin Vassell on any given night. Julian Champagny can make an impact. I mean, the 3-pointers that he made tonight were critical and in key points.
mhm,
But the Fox hate that a lot of people give, I can understand. You pay him a lot of money, but he was going to get that contract regardless. I mean,
mhm.
he's a max type of player. You're going to pay him the max type of deal. So you can give him the hate. I understand. If you want to see more, how much more again? How much more do you want to see out of him if he's getting the job done and they're getting the wins?
Yes, but I need to feel confident that my co-star of the team is going to
Hmm.
be the co-star of the team. He was not. It was Dylan Harper that was the co-star. It was Steph Castle in the second half. You look
Okay.
at Fox's numbers for the game now. He needs to get to the free throw line more. He went to the free throw line 5 times. That was it. He shot 1 for 6 from the 3 line, good for 16%. Now he did connect on 60% of his shots inside the 3-point line,
Hmm.
but 18 points in 36 minutes. I need a little bit more out of you, guy. I need a little bit more. You are the guy. You are the co-star. Let's see that. See that. You're the one. Oh, I have a playoff series under my belt. Great. Show it.
Yeah,
Step up. Step up. And again, I've told you this before in
for
the
sure.
previous episode. For me, it's not about the money. It's about the label that he's been given.
Hmm.
And the label, he's not been living up to that. I mean, you look at some of the comments here, this guy JG, he's not the max type of player. When is he going to get the job? When is he getting the job done? Do you want to take that one on real fast?
Sure. I mean, the only issue I ever have with it is they say max deal, max player, max player, max player. I mean, he's a max player like Mikal Bridges is a max player. He's doing more than Mikal Bridges is for the Knicks.
Mhm,
I mean, there's guys out there that get max contracts. Why? Because they're veterans, because they have the awards behind them, whether it
mhm,
be Defensive Player of the Year from Mikal Bridges, whether it be All NBA, All Star, whatever. They're getting awards. So when you get awards, go to the CBA. You got to go to the collective bargaining agreement.
yeah.
If you meet the criteria, you are able to get this number and you are allowed and going to be rewarded with this number. They're not
Mhm,
going to pay him, a veteran minimum, because he's got an all-star appearance, all that stuff. No, they're going to pay him what he's won based off of his accomplishments, what he's worth off of his accomplishments.
mhm.
I mean, the thing is that that's what I'm saying. People go to the max deal, the max deal. He's not a max player. Well, what is he? Is he a veteran minimum type of player? I mean, do you really think a player like De'Aaron Fox came to San Antonio hoping to maybe make half of what he was supposed to make anywhere else? I mean, you throw him on any other team and he puts up 18, 20 points consistently a night. If they're winning, who really cares? They're
Yeah,
winning. I mean,
yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
yeah. We can debate this on and on and on. And I understand your point. I appreciate your point, but for me, just on my personal level, I need to see more out of him as the heralded co-star of
Yeah.
this team. Now, no, we're trying to get rid of what in my opinion, is bad stuff. What happened in the game, but there was a lot more good in the second half. Now, the second half, that's when the tides turn. Rudy, you saw a little bit more eye of the tiger in
Yeah.
this team. You saw them go back to their defensive roots of this season that would made him one of the most strong teams in the NBA. So look, some of the second half, stats here, team, they outscore the Blazers 61-43 in the second half, out rebound them just by a pair, 23-21. But never, that's huge. All right. They still won the assist battle as well. But
Mhm.
for me, what was key is they started connecting on their three shots. They go in the second half 8 for 15, while the Blazers go 4 for 17, 23% for Portland. So they cooled off in the three-point shot. We saw them connecting in the first half. That went down too. But here's the other thing too. You look at other key stats here. The Blazers had 0 blocks in the second half. The Spurs had 3. Turnovers plummeted in a good way for the Spurs. 9 in the first half, just down to 4. They did a lot of cleanup work. They're not shooting themselves in the foot with the turnovers, right? They're connecting on their threes. Points off turnovers, they capitalized that. And I'm glad they did, because heading into the series, the Blazers were the worst team as far as turning the ball over. They were the worst. They self-inflicted wounds themselves every game last season, and it carried over into game 3. Points off turnovers for the Spurs, 11 to the Blazers, 7. It just goes on and on. Second chance points, edge Spurs 10-5. They started going back to just punishing the Blazers for their mistakes, the 50-50 balls, those effort plays. You saw that on the court. Rudy, your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were able to control the game. The blocks was key, because I mean Portland, I think, out blocked the Spurs in game 2. The Spurs were able to get the block win tonight. The turnover battle. The second half, they came out, and normally the Spurs come out in the second half pretty flat. We've seen that a lot of times. No, they came out with a purpose. They showed the reason why they can win without Wemby. I mean, the thing that we also have to look at too in the second half is Portland, they seem to have got rattled in that fourth quarter.
They did.
I mean, like you said, they were shooting the ball lights out throughout the first half, knocking down three-pointer after three-pointer. Jeremy Grant knocking down three-pointers. I mean, they just looked unbeatable, but then they started to get rattled. And what was it? Something like Pop used to say, I mean, I can't remember the exact quote, but when you hit the rock so many times, eventually it'll break. That's exactly what the Spurs did. They just kept pounding the rock, man. They kept making the little plays. They kept getting to the basket, drawing fouls. They had Portland in foul trouble early in some of these quarters too. So they were doing the little things right. And eventually Portland was going to crack. And that's what we saw in that fourth quarter when they ended up winning that fourth quarter. I believe it was 32-21. I mean, there's the difference right there. I mean, you can say that, hey, Portland cooled off, Spurs got hot. You can say whatever, but what I really saw in that fourth quarter, Jeff, in the second half more, was the Spurs defensive intensity just kicked up a notch. The reason why they were one of the better defensive teams. Yeah, they were one of the better defensive teams in the season. So they showed it tonight. Big props to this team, especially the guard play. All 3 guards, Castle, Harper, and Fox. Without them, this is definitely a blowout for Portland.
You talk about the defensive side of things in the second half. I want to highlight the offensive side of things for a bit. The Spurs offensive rating in the second half, 129.8. The Blazers 91.5. So that tells you what the defensive impact they did on that side of the court. But offensively, they just took it up a notch. And I'm glad they did. That's what I saw this team grow up before our eyes. They took a big step as solidifying themselves as a legit title contender, not just this year, but moving on too. I mean, overall, look at a true shooting percentage. Spurs 66%, the Blazers 44%. What's interesting too is the Blazers were actually leading for the most part in the second half. They led for 12 minutes and 30 seconds. The Spurs 10 minutes. 10 minutes. They did what they needed to do to get the win. Before we get into some of the fan comments, we're going to get to that in a bit, guys. We're not going to leave you guys out.
Yeah.
I mean, we're ignoring the young elephant in the room, and that is Dylan Harper in the second half. Took over the game, was the only viable punch off the bench. The bench, for the most part, Rudy, for the Spurs was non-existent. You got nothing from Barnes practically. You got a little something from Keldon. Carter gave you some work too. No, I'm not going to ignore Carter. But my goodness, I mean, the bench play was pretty much Harper. You look at Harper in that second half, Rudy, you're right. He did not look like a rookie at all.
No.
Harper,
Mm-mm.
22 points in the second half, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Get this, he was a plus 24 for the Spurs in that second half, and he did
Mhm.
all that in 18 minutes. I mean, I think all Spurs fans should be playing the Whitney Houston song right now, I Will Always Love You, because that's what the Spurs should be singing to Dylan Harper right now for his heroics. Your thoughts on the rookie?
Yeah, man. I mean, again, he's a rookie, but he's not a rookie. I mean, he's been proving it all single season.
Yeah.
Now in the playoffs, when you needed him the most, you saw the bench struggles. I mean, the bench struggles have been huge for San
Mm-hmm.
Antonio in this playoffs. Kelly Johnson, 6 man of the year. I mean, Harrison Barnes, we figured maybe put up a little bit of offense. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Carter Bryant's playing some superb defense, but it's Dylan Harper, man, and it's the way he plays, the way he
Yeah,
gets to the basket.
absolutely.
He's very crafty. He kind of reminds you of another lefty that used to be a Spur, another 6 man of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and Manu Ginobili. I mean, he's very crafty with the ball. I think Dwayne Wade said it tonight. It's something about those left-handed players that just makes them super tough to guard. And what's scary, Jeff, is he's a rookie having a game like this. If this is just this jumping off point for him, I mean, can you imagine the types of games he's going to have when it counts the most against a Denver, against the
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota? I mean, this
Look at
is
that. Rudy's
only
already calling them going to the second round
I
already. Look
I
at
I
that.
mean I
He
mean,
already is.
I think everybody, including people in Portland, know that they weren't gonna win the series, man. But I think the biggest thing is it's a confidence builder. I mean, he didn't need any more confidence. He had all the confidence in the world, but big game like this, it just took him to a whole nother level. I guarantee you, Dad, Ron Harper is sitting back with one of his favorite cigars, just with a big smile because both of his sons' teams came out with huge wins today.
See those two guys on the screen right now, everybody? I thought those two guys were going to throw, man. I
They
mean, they
should.
were jawing at each other
They
big
should.
time. Big time. And that was a nice little battle I was watching in that period there. Man, do you like that Harper talks a lot? I mean, he talks a lot on the court.
Let him
He is a
let him
trash
talk.
talker.
I mean, I'm not against trash talking. I'm fine with it, especially at the NBA level. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
get paid that kind of money. You want to talk trash, talk trash. Me,
Yeah.
I'm at the high school level. I don't like it at the high school level. This ain't high school ball, man. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
let him talk all he wants. And the good thing is that when he started talking and when he started balling, where was Scoot? Not anywhere to be found.
MIA. MIA.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan Harper, again, what more can you say about the young man? I mean, just like I said, saved the Spurs' butt. He saved the Spurs' butt when the game was on the line. They needed some sort of spark, some sort of juice to get this team going, and he was it. I'm still just baffled. I mean, in a good way, the plus 24, a plus freaking 24 from a rookie in the second half in a game
Mhm.
3 NBA playoffs. I mean, what more can you say? He also shot 78% from the field, everybody. And if that's even better, how about this? He took 3 3-point attempts. He made all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Clutch. Just clutch when you needed it. He even threw in 5 defensive rebounds and 1 offensive rebound. So the kid did it all. Oh, man. I mean, good win for the San Antonio Spurs. Again, regained that home court advantage. The series is now in their control now.
Mhm.
One other thing, again, we're going to get to you guys' comments. You guys are next. I promise you guys are coming up next. But I want to
Yeah.
highlight this too, and also thought was really, really good. It's not getting enough love right now. I think they made Denny MIA in this game. What he was just trying to foul bait. Was I seeing that? He was
Yeah.
trying to get that fouls going.
Yeah.
He was a non-factor. That's an all-star right there, who was a non-factor for the Blazers in game 3. It was
Yeah.
Holiday, Williams, I guess Kamara in the first half with his defense,
I mean,
but
Scoot Henderson, he was
Scoot,
hot in the
yeah,
beginning, but then, like we
yeah,
said, fourth quarter,
yeah.
he just was MIA in the fourth.
But the job they did on Denny, I thought it was really, really good. Even chipped his tooth. Good job there, De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I could have sworn Denny had a chipped tooth the entire, his entire playing career, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess not. I guess he did. The one thing too with Fox and the struggles, I mean, let's not forget Drew Holiday is one of the better defenders in the
Mm-hmm.
NBA. And it's something that we highlighted before the series started when you and I talked, even with shout out to James Espinosa, we had him on too as well. We mentioned that this guard plays for Portland. There are big time defenders.
Mhm.
So I mean, we kind of expected a struggle from a couple of the guards. We knew that one of the guards is going to be hot at least in every game. Stephon Castle. I mean, we're not even giving him love, and he was 33 points tonight. So I mean, both Harper and Fox were really on par tonight. Drew Holiday was just a menace, especially on
Mhm.
De'Aaron Fox. So, I mean, again, I'm not giving passes to anybody. I would love to see more out of a lot of people, but the Blazers are scrappy. They're a really good defensive team. You
Yeah.
can't take anything away from them. This is a great moral victory for San
Right.
Antonio.
You know what? I want to go back to Denny real fast because again, I the whole game, Rudy, I was saying, okay, he's gonna get cooking at one point. I know there's no way, he's gonna go out like this. And the game one, well, for the Blazers side, their first game in the playoffs at home.
Yeah.
I said, okay, Denny's got to cook. Every quarter, I was like, okay, this is it. He's gonna erupt. He's gonna erupt, and he practically did it. 19 points for the game. Okay, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, but he only did that in 36 minutes. He was a freaking minus 16 for the Blazers. I think the
Mhm.
Spurs did a superb job in controlling him, defending him, crowding him, not giving into those foul baits that he was trying to get into the lane. He
Yeah.
was really trying to get something going in that lane every time. And again, for him too, another game that he's probably kicking himself in the butt right now, thinking, I had no Wemby there to try to disrupt the one thing I'm good at is getting into the paint and finishing and drawing fouls.
Mhm.
Again, a missed opportunity for Danny just on an individual level for him too. So yeah, I think the Spurs did a superb job on Denny as well. All right, Rudy, as to look at what our Spurs and Focus fans got to say. I see you got some highlighted, so take it
Yeah.
away, Rudy.
So we'll get into this here. JG says when our franchise players misses a game, the expectation is that our max contract veteran will step up and pull out
Thank you,
games in the
JG.
playoffs.
You,
Fox was a
JG.
no-show.
Thank you,
Again,
JG.
I'm not, I'm not arguing the fact that he's not a no-show, but I mean, do you really expect 24, 25 points a game?
Yes, yes,
You really do. I mean,
yes,
you really, really do.
yes, I do.
My God, I don't understand that. I really don't. I mean, for me, it's all about the money. Why do we make a player
But
expect so much for money? It's why
again, Rudy, again, I remind you, it's not about the money for me. It's about the label.
no,
It's about that reputation.
for
Okay.
you, it's not
Yeah.
about the money, but for every fan in San Antonio, the word that I always bring up is max. It's always max. It's never,
Oh, I
well,
see what you're saying. Your
Fox
comment. Yeah.
always about max, max, max. And it's like, can we really chill on the max part? I mean, you mean to tell me the Spurs gave him the money? If he got the money from the Spurs, so do you think he's going to turn down that kind of money if it's offered to him?
Right.
You would turn down that money if it's offered to you? I think not. There's no way anybody would, man. So yeah, that's my problem with the whole thing. It always comes up with the max. Sam Salinas, it could be a matchup for KJ, but he seems rattled out there. He needs to calm down and just play his game. That got him six man of the year. I'm gonna let you take this one because again, I did say that a little while ago.
Yeah.
It's not so much KJ might be struggling; it just could be a matchup for him, Jeff.
I didn't think of it in that lens. I just kind of was just been like, well, you've been cooking for the whole regular season, KJ. It's playoffs, your first playoffs, and so far you're laying an egg. Now in game 2 for Keldon Johnson, and also 2, he is the reigning 6th man of the year now, the newly minted
Mhm.
one, and so far he has not been living up to that. It was Harper, but I'll zip it right there. Keldon Johnson, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists in 20 minutes of play off the bench. He goes 1 for 7 from the field for 14% shooting.
Mhm.
Goes to free throw line twice. I didn't really think about that. Is it a matchup issue for him? Because you saw him at one point. I think it was Klingon. He drove to the lane and was just
Mhm.
trying to circle him, and he just missed a shot. I think the Blazers are cutting off what he does best, which is being that bully, because they got bigs down there. They got Klingon, they got Williams, they
Yeah.
got Grant, and so they got guys that can kind of hold him there. But I still got to see more out of him, man. I really, really, really do. I think again, if he just does his averages from the season, the Spurs should be 3-0 at minimum right now. And I'm ignoring Fox right now. I'm just saying if Keldon just was being Keldon right now. But matchup, it could be an issue for him. But
He doesn't seem like he's playing the way he did in the regular season.
yeah, I
Like
don't know if it's the bright lights too or something, but
I mean, the reason why I say that is it feels like he's trying too hard. Like he gets to the basket and he's he's a little bit more reckless getting to the basket.
Right.
And that reminds me of old Keldon when he used to get to the basket. He was quick with it. He didn't take his time. He was trying to force shots up at the rim. And it was kind of like, I don't know, Keldon, but it seems like he went back to that instead of letting the game come to him, making the play, making the right move, get to the basket, just kind of get a little bit of poise, a little bit of ease to the basket. That's kind of what I'm looking at here on that. But a couple more comments, and this kind of goes hand in hand. Jacob is saying, sit Wemby for game 3 if he is a go. I think you meant game 4. That's a great topic because you just won without him. Do you really want to rush him back after a concussion? He seemed to. Now, rumor has it that he was a little upset that he was going to be out for tonight's game. But do you, Jeff Garcia, do you feel sitting him in game 4 is the right thing? Or would you play him?
That's a good question.
Hoping nothing happens in that game.
I'm playing him. Why? Because I want to let Portland know this Spurs team ain't messing around. And let's put them out of their misery and bring in the guy that just erupted for 35 points on them in that opening game. And again, he was on pace having another solid game. It was 11 minutes he had before he had the concussion. He was ready. He had dropped 5 points, 6 rebounds. He had 2 or 3 assists. So he was on track for doing some damage. But I say, why not? Put the guy out there. Let him and the rest of the crew just cook this Blazers team. Series over. They come back to San Antonio in game 5 up 3-1. It's done. There's no way the Blazers beat this team 4 straight. Or 3 straight, I should say. Excuse me, 3 straight. They don't. So I say you play him out there. Let him and the rest of the crew just end the Blazers series for all intents and purposes with a game 4 win. Go back to San Antonio up 3-1. I say go for now. You could load manage him. You could do that. I can see that. Maybe don't play him 30 plus minutes, but I think 20 minutes of Wemby on the court is enough to take the Blazers out. So I say play him. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. And that's what Aaliyah said too, right after that comment. He says, have him come off the bench. And that's what I'm saying. I think if he plays perfectly fine. When did we last see that? When he first came back from injury in the NBA Cup against Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
He didn't play that first quarter. We didn't expect him to play. We're like, oh God, he's not going to play after all. He ended up playing the second quarter. I think gradually bringing him back into the fold, that would be the way to go. I don't expect him to start. I don't think he would start game 4. If he comes back, I would hope they would bring him in maybe after 5-6 minutes into the first quarter, let him come in, let him get his feet wet a little bit, maybe play him 3 or 4 minutes and then bring him back in the second quarter. I think you're right. 20 minutes of Wemby is a whole hell of a lot more and a big difference maker compared to no minutes with Wemby. But again, this game right here proves again that they can win without Wemby on the floor. It took a little while longer. It scared a lot of Spurs fans, but sure enough, kind of what Luke Cornett said at the in the press conference before the game. He said, we've been successful when he's been off the court, and we're looking to continue it here tonight. And they did. I mean, I would say maybe bring him off the bench. That was my next question. Do you think maybe bringing him off the bench would be the better idea?
Sure, why not? I take any amount of Wemby on the court. I just want this series to be done. I want the series to be done because you got a team on the other side of the bracket that's handling Denver right now, and that's Minnesota. And if this series goes out longer and in Minnesota take care of business, they could be resting and making their, let's get our travel out of the way. Let's go to San Antonio and get rested while they're dealing with the Blazers in a game 6. I'm making this up, out in Portland. Yeah. So hopefully that doesn't happen. What else we got? Other comments here?
We got a couple more. They asked if Wemby will be on a minutes restrictions, and then
we don't know yet.
Stevie said, you don't play with a playoff team, and that's kind of goes back to the Wemby thing. If he's eligible to play, if he's healthy to play, then I mean, I guess you're right. You don't want to give Portland any hope, so you definitely want to play Victor Wembanyama. But it's kind of a hit or miss thing because you've already got home court advantage back. I mean, you took it
Mhm.
away from Portland, you got it back from them. So, how important is Game 4 for you when it comes to San Antonio? Is it a must
Mm.
win? Is it a
Ooh,
must
that's a good
win,
question.
or is
Yeah, I
it?
think it's a must win.
So you think
Yeah.
it's a must win? Okay,
Yes.
okay.
I think
I
it's a must
can,
win.
I can get around that. I can
Yeah.
understand that it'd be a must win. Um,
Because then if they
so-
lose, then the series gets
well,
extended. You have the possibility,
yeah,
like I said, Minnesota finishing off Denver if things go that direction, and
yeah.
then you just put a little bit more wear and tear on this team. And yeah. By the way, real quick, kudos to Mitch Johnson. He openly admitted in game 2 that he did not do a good job of managing minutes with the players, and he said some of the guys looked gassed. I think he did a phenomenal job of that
Mhm,
in game 3.
yeah.
There was a point during the second half when I was watching the game, and Harper is doing his thing. He's destroying the Blazers, and then I go, wait a minute, where's Castle? I even
Mhm,
had to check that maybe they made an announcement that he had hurt and he's not playing. That's how long he was not on the court. And when he
yeah,
came in, he came out firing, aggressive, hitting shots, getting the Blazers in foul trouble. He was really refreshed for a
yeah.
long. So I thought that was a good move by Mitch Johnson. What other comments we got?
We got Jacob Eric back in here. He says, "Are we a little worried? It's being reported by the Athletic and ESPN that Wimby didn't pass protocol, and
Did
that's another
not,
reason
man.
why. So that's another reason he didn't pass protocol, and I understand he was upset. But again, you got 48
What
hours,
does that
72
mean,
hours.
though? What does that mean?
So basically, he has to go through
Oh, right, the
concussion
hoops.
protocol.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got to go
yeah.
through concussion protocol. If there's one little instant that they feel he's not ready, they won't allow him to play. So
They
it's
mean
not
the NBA,
necessarily.
right? Not the Spurs.
Yeah, yeah, this is the NBA. So
Okay.
he's got to get cleared by the Spurs doctors, and he also has to get cleared by the NBA doctors. So either one of them may have felt that he wasn't ready for tonight. And again, that's where it comes into play
Okay,
for
well, hold on. I
Sunday.
don't mean to cut you off, Rudy, but you mean like
Okay.
did it pass protocols for tonight or moving forward?
Well, no, just for tonight. He had his
Oh,
first
okay, just for
protocol test
tonight.
today.
Okay.
So the initial 48 hours, you don't do nothing. Zero. They don't, you can barely breathe. They don't want you to do nothing for 48 hours. After the 48 hours, then you go into concussion protocol. You go through the, rigorous training basically to see if you are able to handle it. He was able to jog, he was able to shoot, he was able to do the little things, but there was something that they didn't feel that was right. So that's why he was ruled out for the game. The only concern, Jeff, is this: if the Sunday's game was at 7, 8 o'clock at
Hmm.
night, I would feel more comfortable with him being ready for that game, probably passing concussion protocol. But since the game is at 2:30 on Sunday, I don't know. And now we've got another person in here saying that that might have been false,
Okay,
because
fine. I'll take
he
it.
did
Yeah.
play, but he says it's false. The reason why I did play because he's still in protocol. So that's the thing. It's not a false rumor per se. He went through concussion protocol. He didn't pass it. He's still in protocol. If he's still in protocol, it's because he still has the symptoms. He still has stuff
Hmm.
that they're looking at. So again, there wasn't really a false rumor. It's just he's still in concussion protocol. There's something that didn't feel right. They're going to keep him there. But going back to my initial question to you was this: is because the game is early on Sunday,
Hmm.
that's less time for him to be ready for the game. That's
Mm.
why I feel maybe he may not be ready that day. I don't know. That's why I wish it was a
Well,
late game.
the Spurs are going to spur, and we know what they're going to do if they're going to go that. Well, no. Well, Mitch has been really adamant, repeating
Mhm.
it over. We're
Yeah.
following the protocols. We're following the protocols. So it's it's out of their hands practically, right? Because the NBA is taking over that, right?
Well,
Yeah,
both, yeah, Spurs and NBA. And if the Spurs say, "Hey, thumbs up, you're good to go," and the NBA says, "Well, no, we see something else here," he's going to have to sit out. Ultimately, he's got to get the green light from both there. And
yeah.
also, Silver Wolf is back in here. I'm sure we all knew third game was not going to be a go. Yeah, I mean,
I think we all
you,
knew. Yeah.
yeah, you and I basically said that. You got a quick shout out from JG. Thank you guys for the instant reaction. I love the coverage.
No,
Appreciate
appreciate
that.
that.
I told you it was going to be a hit by going live, Jeff. You got to listen to me. You got to
You're
listen to
not
me.
the only person to tell me something like this. You know how I have had you, somebody else, a former mutual friend of ours,
Mhm.
tell me like, when are you ready to go live? I'm like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
This is fun. This is fun. What other comments we have? We don't want to leave you Spurs and Focus fans out of the
No.
conversation. You're a big part of this. So what do we got?
Silver Wolf comes back, says, with this win, you don't even need Wemby on Sunday. Spurs can get another one without him. This was a gut punch for the Blazers. I agree
Yes, I
100%.
agree. Yes, this is the game when they're going to be kicking themselves for whenever the season ends. This was it for them.
Yeah, he says, I don't think CB said, I don't think Wemby traveled not to play one of these games. Well, good question, because again, you and I talked about the travel. When you're in concussion protocol, they don't like you flying, to stay up. They almost say you have to go a couple of days within a week, maybe before you fly. But it's a good call here. I get it. He goes, he travels, you expect him to play, but there's also a thing called moral support. There's also, having him on the bench for
Yeah.
support. So I expected him to travel with the team. And if he
I
doesn't
thought
play,
that was a
no
little
big deal.
surprising to begin with. I thought him traveling this period. I thought, whoa, okay.
Did you not expect him to travel?
No,
At all?
I didn't expect him to travel. I thought he was going to stay in San Antonio.
Wow.
I really
Wow.
did.
Okay.
Because that fall was nasty. It was nasty.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I thought, oh yeah,
God.
I mean, there's no way. After that fall, and then you saw his body kind of wobbling, and he had to do like a double, he's kind of got himself up, he kind of supported himself, then he threw his arm back down.
His eyes closed. That
His
was the
eyes
crazy
closed. Yeah, it was bad. But when I saw, when the report came out that he was traveling, well, Mitch Johnson pretty much said it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, this is good news. Maybe the protocols, he hurdled all of them, and well, apparently not.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad he traveled with the team.
Yeah.
I think it's a mind game, Jeff. I mean, you're seeing your teammate who went down with that kind of injury, and you see him on the bench. He looks fine. He's supporting you. It's kind of a good thing for them.
The Spurs didn't call you to Mr. Miyagi him,
No, well, I can't lie. I have an extra bedroom. I went ahead and bought 300 candles, and I lit them all.
All
So
with that Wemby label on him, like
I
superimposed
basically
on Jesus Christ.
I did, and what's funny is I got the package today. I sent a case of 7-Up to the Spurs.
Was Vicks also part of that package?
It was 7-Up. It was Vicks. It was everything. I had the egg, and I started rubbing the egg on everything. I mean, everything in my Mexican body that worked when I was sick or I had problems, I tried to do for Wemby, man.
One of the old wives' tales that always would get under my skin is when my mom would say, like, you just get out of the shower, don't go outside, you're gonna catch a cold. I'm like, that's not even possible. Is that possible? You go swimming, you get out of the water, you don't get sick. But anyway,
it's
this is off-season talk for Spurs in Focus, wives' tale. We got a couple other comments here. We got a familiar name here, Gio Gimbarda. Game 5, it is a wrap. So
it's a wrap.
You think it's a wrap?
You think it's a wrap?
I think it is. I think this broke the back of the Blazers.
Yeah. I mean, I said Spurs in 5. I figured the win that Portland would get. I thought they were going to get the win Sunday, Portland. I mean, that's an early game, but now I think it's pretty much San Antonio gets the win Sunday, and then they just close it out. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm looking at.
And when they play game 2, I'm sorry, the next game in Portland, I don't want to see a close game. I need to see total annihilation. I got to see that. I got to just put this Blazers team to rest already. Put them to rest.
Playoffs. It's the playoffs, man. I mean, if this was against Phoenix, I would expect them to really beat them handily. It's the playoffs. I don't think Portland's going to roll over. I think if the Spurs win, it's going to be similar to tonight. It's going to be a struggle in the beginning, maybe pull away a little bit. Portland's going to fight back. And then at the very end, whichever team is not gassed, they're going to come out with the win, probably a double-digit win. So
yeah. Any other fan comments before we take a little short break in a bit?
Yeah, man. So Jacob had, I know we got the win, but should Mitch throw a big in there more? Something we've discussed. No Mason Plumlee, no Kelly Olynyk.
You texted me that during the game.
I did text you. I'm like, I'm surprised Mitch has not thrown one of these guys in there. And I get it. Carter Bryant's playing, really good defensively. But again, I think a big on big would make a lot more sense, even if it's just a foul. Donovan Clingan's not exactly the greatest foul free throw shooter in the world. Mm-hmm. So just get out there, beat him up a little bit, man. That's all you got to do is beat him up. And then Denny would be a little bit more apprehensive to get to the basket. Right now, it's a clear cut to the basket, especially when Carter Bryant's out there.
It really is. Hey, we're not done with your fan comments right here on the live episode of Spurs in Focus. When we get back, we're going to obviously mention some of you guys, what are y'all talking about? We're going to get into our, the standout stats, the standout player. Gee, I wonder who that could be. Turning point of the game. And then since they play on Sunday, might as well just look at the next game and talk game adjustments. That's coming up next right here on this live episode of Spurs in Focus. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. You got YouTube Music, Amazon Podcasts. The list goes on and on. Don't forget about the Substack, Spurs in Focus Substacks. Y'all heard the rumor that guy on your screen, Mr. Moneybags, he's paying for everybody's subscription. So you hit subscribe, the bill goes automatically to him. So go over there right now, Spurs in Focus Substack. Just Google that, charge it to Mr. Campos's account, and he'll gladly pick up the bill for you. So we got a lot more to talk about on this live episode of Spurs in Focus coming up next.
As the new leader of the Decepticons, I command you to subscribe to Spurs in Focus.
You love that one, don't you?
I love that. I'm a Soundwave guy, but I'm also a Starscream guy. I love that.
I asked this the other day on Spurs in Focus. If you're Megatron and you know this guy is backstabbing you, plotting against you, talking trash about you behind your back,
blow him away.
Getting an army. If you all don't know, Starscream literally gathered an army. They're called the Combaticons, and he drew war against his leader. Are you letting him get slide all this time, or are you saying, you know what, one time you're done?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Megatron's one of the most villainous villains out there. I'm surprised he didn't blast Starscream's head off at the first chance he got.
Yeah, he did. Oh, but Galvatron, aka Megatron, definitely took care of that in the movie. Welcome to a live episode of Spurs in Focus right here on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. What else you got? YouTube Music. The list goes on and on. Substack, Spurs in Focus Substack, completely free. Hit the subscribe button and you're in part of the crew. We're having a live reaction to the Spurs' big win over the Portland Trail Blazers in Game 3, beating them 120-108. Woo! It was scary for at least good 2 periods, but the Spurs handled business thanks to Dylan Harper and the rest of the crew in the second half. Good stuff. All right, a couple more comments, Rudy, before we get into our stats of the night, all that good stuff.
Yeah, maybe psyched out the Blazers by bringing Wemby. Remember the Dame Lillard thing that they put out the Blazers? Maybe have Wemby go out there,
Rudy was scared, everybody. Rudy thought that Dame was
I was not scared. Definitely not scared. We got more. Only thing is, for years, I remember Spurs don't do well in early games, fingers crossed, but they should be fine. Golly, Jeff, haven't I been telling you that? The Sunday games in the afternoon, they always seem to lose those games, man. So I'm glad I'm not the only one out there. CV St. Kelly is the only big that I trust. And again,
I'm with you. I'm with you, CV.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Kelly out there. And then last comment for right now, so we can move on here. This is a great show, guys. So we're Freight Boak Ridge, appreciate you. And yeah, we hope to do this a lot more with Jeff here.
Silver Wolf, you get that from the One Punch Man anime? There's a no, that's Silver Fang.
That's Silver Fang.
That's Silver Fang. Right, you're right, exactly. Sorry about that. All right, let's go ahead and get into some individual things that we're looking at. Rudy, what do you want to start off? Your standout stat or standout player or turning point?
Let's do turning point. I like to do turning point.
All right, let's check. Rudy Campos, what was your turning point of the game?
Simple. When Dylan Harper got hot and continued to stay hot. I mean, when he was able to get to the basket, when he was knocking down a 3 in that second half, when he was basically Mr. Clutch in the fourth quarter, everything opened up for the Spurs. The basket just looked like it was, 50 feet wide and you were throwing it in the ocean. Then when it came to the Blazers, he basically ripped the heart out of Portland. They couldn't make a basket. All the threes they were knocking down in the first half, they were not going down anymore. The turning point for me was when Dylan Harper said, you know what? I am not a rookie. I am a seasoned vet. This is the reason why. Anything you can do, Dad, I can do better. That is my turning point for the Spurs.
I'm with you. Yeah, Dylan Harper's play just completely turned the game around. The headiness, playing like not a rookie, playing like a guy who's been there, done that. I like the trash talk. I really, really do. I think I got a little nervous that it may have cost him. I thought, okay, either he's going to get a tech or a fight's going to break out. And then, oh,
Mhm.
great, we lost him for the next game because he's suspended. Something stupid like that. But nevertheless, love that edge he plays with. And by the way, my God, what a crafty player. I didn't realize how crafty it was.
Yeah.
Just getting around the rim, getting to the paint,
Mhm.
finishing with the left. Are you sure that's really not Manu Ginobili just in disguise? He just put on like a fake mustache and a wig on. But nevertheless, yeah, turning point completely was Dylan Harper's
Yeah,
play in
before you
that
go
game.
on, I
Yeah.
gotta get this comment in. Shout out to the Drew Show, man, because the Drew Show is a massive supporter for us at the Sports Answer. When we had sweep the league back in the day, I know he supports Spurs and Focus as well. Stat of the night, post game, 90% of the Spurs commentators on social media dragging Fox. Oh well, commentators comment. I think he's tired of the Fox dragging too. And again, it goes back to what I'm saying. I mean, you can't really drag the guy, put up some decent stats and everything. So
Mhm.
shout out to Drew. Appreciate Drew joining us here, man.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely. All right. Yeah. Other little, I guess, mini turning points in the game. Spurs massive run in the fourth period. Went plus 17. They go from Portland 95 to 93. They end that run with them taking a commanding lead 112 to 97.
Mhm.
It lasted from about the 8-minute mark till about the 4-minute mark of the fourth, plus 17 in that run. And then they even close the game with a +3 run on the Blazers just to leave no doubt. Interesting though, in that big, massive run in the fourth period, again, from about the 8-minute mark down to the
Mhm.
fourth. Castle, shout out to him. In that run, he was key. He had 9 points. He went 3 for 3 from the field, 2 assists.
Yeah.
Harper had 5 points in that run. He made 7 of 8 shots in that run. And by the way, Spurs defense went up a notch in that run in the fourth period. The Blazers missed all 6 free field goal shots, and they had 3 turnovers. So
Mhm.
kudos to the Spurs. Big. That's another big, huge turning point of the game. All right, let's go with standout stat. So I kind of gave out my standout stat already. Was that big run in that fourth period?
Mhm.
I think that was a big number for me. But again, my God, what that just showed me was the Spurs just left no doubt.
Yeah.
They just took care of business. They beat a team they should beat. They reminded them who they are. It's like Optimus Prime said in the Bay Universe movies. Did you forget who I am?
Yeah.
So I mean that's pretty much it for me. So I kind of already gave away my stat of the night there, standout stat. What about you, Rudy?
So I've got two stats of the night. One of them, it's kind of, goes hand in hand. Spurs out shooting the Blazers from overall 48% to 47%, 41%. Then from 3-point range, 48% to 37%. The Spurs were knocking down their shots left and right. They almost shoot 50% as a team total. I mean, that's gonna get you some wins. A lot of that came in the second half, especially that fourth quarter. They were just, I mean, melting the net off of that rim. So that was one stat that I have. The other one, it's kind of surprising. They lost in the stats category, but they actually won in my heart. 42 to 44 in the paint, points in the paint. You're talking about without Victor Wembanyama, they were able to compete with Portland, who does have guys like Williams. I mean, you saw the lob to Williams a whole lot tonight. Klingon was able to get some points in the basket. Denny attacks the rim. So you would have thought Portland should run away with points in the paint. Not so fast, my friend. Spurs 42, Portland 44. That's a difference maker for me right there. That's a huge stat for the night for me right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Spurs just. I mean, what more can you say, man? First of all, they gave me a heart attack. Thank you. They aged
Why
me.
were
I don't
you
need to get. I'm
worried,
already
dude?
getting old, everybody. I don't need to get aged faster. They
Did I
aged
ever
me. I
text you? Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go. You're
No,
saying?
I said, did I ever text you or message you saying that I was worried about the Spurs? I mean, why do you worry? Don't worry, man.
It was just because when I saw no mojo, no nothing, no juice, nothing out of them. The Blazers just came out and just punched them. I said, my God, they're playing in hostile territory. They just took a punch in the face.
Yeah.
It didn't look, at least seemingly didn't look like they were going to recover. But boy, Did they? Boy, did they. You got a comment there. Who do you got?
Yeah, Jacob Harris says not on the stat board, but the word hustle. I mean, they out hustled Portland tonight.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
definitely
And
say
it
that.
was literally a tale of two halves in that department. Blazers out hustled the Spurs in the first half, but when it counted in the second half, the Spurs did the job there. Yeah, I mean, do we really need to ask who's our standout player?
Absolutely, you got to ask that.
Way to go, Kelly Olynyk, holding down the bench, waving the towel, rallying the guys off that bench. Standout player for me. All kidding aside. No, I love you, Kelly, but nevertheless, I mean, Dylan Harper. What more can you say, Rudy?
Can't say a whole. I can't say
Yeah.
anymore, man. I mean, we've been talking about Dylan Harper's magnificent performance tonight: 27 points, 10 rebounds, a double double on the night. Um, just taking over the fourth quarter like a seasoned veteran, and he's a rookie. This should only get Spurs fans even more excited for this guy. Blessed to get Dylan Harper in a Spurs uniform, the best player in the draft. Can't say enough about him at all.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You can't say enough about him. I think we said all we can about his play. I just hope it can carry over into the next game on Sunday afternoon. He'll be definitely key. That's another weapon the Spurs use. And again, a weapon that I didn't see coming. I did not. I didn't see this type of performance from the rookie. I thought, yes, we're going to get that electric play. But you look at game 2, I believe. I think he had a very subpar game, like 6 points, didn't shoot the ball well.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, he really came alive when the Spurs needed standout player for me. Rudy, before we put a bow on the show, we're hitting an hour here. Any other comments you want to highlight? Because these guys in the comment section, they drive the show.
Yeah, we can get to a couple more. I did want to give you my standout player. Wasn't Dylan Harper. It was actually Stephon Castle with 33 points.
Really interesting. Okay.
Stephon Castle. He set the bar really high in the first quarter, first half of the game. He kept the Spurs close. He had a little bit of a sputter, I think, in the second half, but again, he made the key shots. He made a few shots down the stretch. Without him, I think the Spurs might have been in a little bit of trouble. But again, when Dylan Harper got hot, Stephon Castle was right there next to him. Also, shout out Carter Bryant. I mean, some key blocks, Carter Bryant. His defense does not go unnoticed. I mean, comment-wise, we went through just about every single comment that we could.
I'm glad we did.
We didn't leave anybody left out. Elias earlier said, I told Jeff throw Bryant in for his defense once the nerves settle down. He's fine. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Jacob's back in here. Castle was the glue. Perfect point. That's why I think for me, he's my star player of the night. One of my star players of the night was because of Castle. He did a lot of the little things. He did have a bunch of turnovers, which we should be kind of used to. He had 4, the most on anybody on the team. But again, 5 assists. He made the key baskets when they needed. So yeah, I mean, shout out to everybody, man. Everybody, you've been sitting over 400 people for a while on this live stream. So yeah, this is a great success for you. The first time with Spurs in Focus.
First time ever I've done it. Ever done it.
Yeah, ever. I've never seen you go live on your own. Well, yeah, I never.
Yeah. Well,
you're excited.
I am excited. Tell you what, I really needed Rudy's help because he's the veteran in live show area. I don't, and I was texting Rudy today or yesterday, I guess technically now, 1:30 in the morning in San Antonio. I said, Rudy, I don't have to lean on you for this stuff because that's what you do. You do live shows. So he said, yeah, I got you. By the way, real quick, just to give him more love, Carter Bryant for the night, 3.6 rebounds, 4 assists. But get this, a plus freaking 17, plus 17 on the court for the Spurs in 22 minutes, 3 blocks as well. And get this, 0 turnovers. He didn't have a single turnover in the game. He picked up 4 fouls, but that's just the aggressive play that he does in the defense. I understand he's a rookie too. He's probably not going to get kind whistles from the refs, but no. 4 offensive rebounds too, Rudy, from young Carter Bryant as well.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Good job, everybody. All right, Rudy, let's go to wrap it up. Any final comments about game 4? What do you want to see for?
I'm gonna be on the I'm gonna be on the opposite side of the fence here. I want to see the exact same start that we saw them finish game 3 with, but I'm okay if I don't see Wemby in the lineup. I'm gonna just say that right now. I think this team proven to themselves that they can win without Wemby. If he does play, it's icing on the cake. If he doesn't, it's gonna be another battle. but the confidence that we saw them get in the third quarter, and especially the fourth quarter, should carry into game 4. You've already punched Portland in the mouth. You punched them in the gut in that fourth quarter. You're basically just got to lean on them, and they'll be done. They'll be down for the count. That's my thing. Just start the game the way you ended the game. Don't lose momentum. Don't get complacent. Don't give a playoff team any opportunity to get any type of hope.
Yeah. My biggest adjustment, just play Wemby. If he's good to go and the protocols are good, play him, handle business. Other adjustments I would like to see, I think I can't even give it away already. I got to see more bench production.
Yeah.
Didn't really see much of it outside of Harper. Like, just Elton going, that'll be great. That for me, I'd love to see a little bit more bench production, as well as don't let, I can't believe I'm saying, try to contain a Holiday is
no.
I couldn't believe what he was doing. He had like 20 something points on the Spurs.
29. He finished the game with 29. Drew Holiday's a guy that when he gets hot, he's hot. And if you try to contain him, it frees up a lot of other guys. I'd rather let Drew get his points concentrated. You've been doing a good job on Denny. He's the main guy you got to worry about.
Yeah, keep doing that, Spurs. Yes.
They'll be fine if you can kind of control Denny. My biggest concern is if you get Robert Williams hot, like the way he started the game, it's going to be a long night for the Spurs. Other than that, I mean, Drew Holiday's a really up and down type of guy. He can get 29. He can go for 12 or 13. The one thing you got to worry is his defense. I mean, you saw him take the ball away from Carter Bryant and, a couple of other guys. And it's like, well, good God, but that's Drew Holiday. So I like what you're saying. I mean, I like what you said there on the game 4 for Portland, San Antonio. There's a lot of keys that we can go into.
Yeah, there's a lot of keys. Yeah. So just maintain that mojo. Come out swinging. Don't let the Blazers swing as they did in game 3 and put a scare in a lot of the Spurs fan base, except for Rudy, apparently. Rudy wasn't scared. Spurs were down double figures and Rudy was calm and cool.
I was as calm and relaxed as the Crown Royal chocolate that I had. So yeah.
is that the key? You're really just getting Crown Royal chocolate and you're good.
You just got to be smooth
right,
with it. Jack.
Rudy smooth combos over here. And what else? Get a little bit more bench production. That's one of my keys. And of course, if Wemby is a go, play him to end this series. Let him just dominate as we saw in game 1, starting to dominate in those 11 minutes before he got hurt. He is definitely an answer that the Blazers just can't answer. They just cannot meet that. They don't have anybody that can contend with him. And who does? Maybe Denver, but Denver's not looking good right now with Joker. But
I will say this. Let me answer this question. We have a comment from X here. It says, will we see the Wolves in the second round? Derek Gervin and I talked about it on the Sports Answer Friday Drive. I'm going to reiterate it. Whoever wins game 4 on this series is going to win the series. So if Denver wins, I think Denver will end up winning the series, I think, in 7 games. But I think that's what it is. So will we see the Wolves? I don't know. The Wolves are probably the scariest team of the playoffs right now.
But you know what? Isn't as much as we say, like the Spurs, they need to take their lumps and take their steps along the way. Can't you say Minnesota definitely has been there, done that? Western Conference Finals, deep playoff runs.
Back-to-back years, yeah.
The back-to-back years. I mean, they've taken steps to be a threat, as well. And we will see, right now our focus is not that series. It's this series, Spurs, Blazers. Once again, Spurs got the win in Portland, going up 2-1 now out in the opening round between the Spurs and Blazers there, beating Portland. I got to hear 120-108. Dylan Harper was your standout player, 27 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 29 minutes, a plus 25 for the game, everybody, a plus 25. And I see somebody was getting some drinks at Bombshells. I see. So
I've never been to Bombshells.
Never heard of that. I heard of 151, but I'm
by 151. Yeah, I don't know, but I've never been.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm old. I used to go to a place called Joe's Volcanoes, everybody, and Park Place and Piranha Club. So
what was the one?
Those OGs, y'all remember those nights?
Atrium. Was it the Atrium?
There was another one. Planet Mexico is the one I used to go to.
Is Sunset Station still there?
Sunset Station I would go to. Graham Central Station I would go to.
Oh, Graham Central. That's the one. I'm
Graham
sorry.
Central
Graham
Station,
Central
yeah.
Station.
Yeah.
Sunset Station was across the street from the Alamo Dome, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Good memory there. Yeah. But bombshells, no, I don't know. All right, guys. Maybe we'll do this again. Maybe not. I don't know. I know it was a success. I see 453 people right now tuning in right now. We appreciate y'all staying up late now. It nearly went at 1:40 a.m. Central. I mean, everybody's riding high right now. Spurs got the win. You got 20 more minutes to drink them up if you're out, everybody. Then they cut them off. Yeah, so chug them now while you can. Rudy, thank you for hopping on with me and kind of being my Yoda for these live shows because, again, the whole rookie part, that's the rookie in me. I don't know how to handle live shows. Rudy does. Rudy was even just giving me a crash course before he went live. He kept on telling me over and over, everybody, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because I want to press it. And then apparently I thought he pressed it and I started talking. Then Rudy had to say, no, Jeff, we haven't gone live yet. So yeah, rookie mistake here. But we appreciate y'all. Once again, thank you to Rudy Campos for kind of managing all this. Thank you for everybody for joining us here on this live episode of Spurs in Focus. Once again, subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Pocket Casts. The list goes on and on. Subscribe to the Spurs in Focus Substack. It is completely free. Just type in Spurs in Focus Substack on Google. Takes you right there to it. And you see a subscribe button. Click on that. The bill goes to Rudy. He's paying for the first. How many gonna pay for tonight? How many?
You've already billed me for a couple of hundred, so I'll do the first 100 people to do it tonight.
Yeah. Click subscribe. The bill goes to him. You're one of the first 100 people to subscribe over at Spurs in Focus on Substack. Rudy, it's been a great night, great morning with you. Get some sleep. Spurs up 2-1 in their series, hoping to put a chokehold on this series this Sunday afternoon. So for Mr. Rudy Campos, I am Jeff Garcia. Now you're in focus with Spurs in Focus.